Good morning. Hey there. How y'all doing today? It is 5 a.m. and this is Data getting ready to get back on trail. I am headed out at 5 a.m. this morning. Even got my headlamp around my neck just to make sure drivers can spot me. And I'm going to walk 28 miles today. This probably is in 29. A warm-up for the hike I'm going to do next month in July. I'm going to hike about 120 mile or so section of the Appalachian Trail from where I got blown off by Hurricane Helene up through just a little past Hot Springs probably. I'm on the Ice Age Trail now a little bit to kind of practice to, get my legs a good workout. Yesterday I did 15 plus. Today I'm going to do 28 or 29. It's about 6, going about 3 miles. It's a nice start to the day. Looks like the sun has finally come up enough to burn off some of the cloud cover. And I've reached Tola's Road and County Line Road North, which is my next turn. I hear a big vehicle coming, so I'm going to have to wait, and I'm going to cross this road this direction and head south. So I'm just shy of 5 miles in, reached my next turning point. You can see that blinking stop sign over there from a mile away. This is Tools and Gibbs Lake Road. Nice thing about that is when I make the left here, Gibbs Lake is actually the name of the county park I'm headed toward. So, and again, a 2.8 mile road walk on Gibbs Lake Road was actually really nice. I've reached the end of it where I'm going to make a left, and I'm very near Gibbs Lake County Park. Gibbs Lake Road is a really nice part of a road walk because I only saw 3 or 4 vehicles the whole time I was on it. It's a little country road, a little bit like this one, with a farm every half a mile or so, and some shady spots along it. And I'm 7.2 miles into the day, and it's 7 o'clock. So I had begun the day with the hopes of doing something I've seen people talk about on the Appalachian Trail, which I'll probably never be able to do on the AT, but I thought on the AIT I might try it, and that is to do what they call 10 by 10. That is 10 miles by 10 a.m. And since I'm at 7 miles at 7 a.m., I have a pretty good shot at that. So this is Gibbs Lake Park in Rock County. We have a boat launch here. Park closed from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Somewhere back up that trail, there's a pump. First, we use their facilities. I'm going to take a little pack-off break on these picnic tables in the shade. See if I can locate that water source. So I was looking for a place to take my pack-off break, and I spotted this little kiosk with a roof on it, which is very similar to the one at the last county park in Rock County I was at. And I'm hoping that this is where the water pump is. But now that I'm here, I don't see a water pump. This is where the water pump was. So that is not a good sign there. I'm not really low on water, but I got a long way to go. So before I take off my break, I probably need to come up with a strategy for water. I took a half an hour break here at Gibbs Lake because I had to filter water since the pump's been removed. But I've documented that on Far Out, and hopefully the folks at the Ice Age Trail will see that and either get that replaced, because it's completely gone. It's like looks to me like they poured concrete on it and blocked it in, so they don't mean to replace it. So this is the only water stop on the connecting routes between Evansville and Janesville. I went 8 miles this morning in 3 hours, so that was pretty good, from 5 to 8. And now it's about 8:30 and I'm heading out. I have a 12-mile stretch now to go, and there aren't any segments that are parks or anything like that on it. It's all a road walk. So that's Gibbs Lake itself. The sun is up, as you can tell, out on the cornfields to my right. So I'm right here at the intersection of Eagle Road and Windsor, I think that is, or Wheeler. And this marks right about the 10-mile mark on my day. And it is about 9:15, so yay! I have, for the first time in my short hiking career, hiked 10 miles before 10 a.m. So, handsome herd of cattle there. So I'm now about, I don't know, probably 11 or 11 and a half miles into my day. And it's Friday, it's about 9:30. And I just had a local policeman from Evansville, city of Evansville, stopped by and chat with me. Pulled over to the side of the road. I thought he might want to know what some old fart like me was doing out hiking, or to see how I was or whatever. Nope. Turns out he was wanting to know if I'd seen a fellow named Carl, older gentleman with some memory kind of issues, who has wandered away from a local nursing home. So that's sad, but I'll keep an eye out for Carl, and if I see him, I'll try to alert the local authorities so they can come give the gentleman some help. And no sooner did I record that little clip than a car pulled up next to me. Thought I might be Carl, because from behind I look like an old fellow like he does with a beard. And turned out it was Carl's daughter and a friend of hers. And she's obviously very concerned. So, again, I'm going to wish them good thoughts. And I'm going to see if I can keep an eye out for Carl. He must clearly be right around here somewhere, though, because that's 2 people in a row have mentioned it to me. So, Carl's daughter, Serena, came back by, asked me, was I up at Gibbs Lake this morning? I said I was. And then a fellow driving around asked me if I was up around Evansville 5 a.m. this morning. I said, yes, I was. That's when I started out from up there. And it turns out that when they put out the, missing persons notice on him, several people reported me, evidently, because they saw a guy out early in the morning wandering around with white hair and a beard. So unfortunately, the fact that I was hiking the Ice Age Trail in the same area meant that several reportings of sightings of what might be Carl were really just me. So I just crossed Highway 14 and had my fourth discussion about Carl. And this time it was with a local county sheriff. And the deputy is also out doing a grid search for him. She got right out of her car, like, I think prepared to necessarily maybe have to manhandle me, thinking I might be Carl. So I introduced myself saying, I am not Carl. I told her my name, gave her my full name and contact information, explained to her where I had been hiking today. And she also said people have been calling me in, and I told her the route that I was hiking, where I had been, and she could maybe not worry about that on her grid search quite so much. And I explained to her that as a hiker, I was going to be hiking this certain part of this grid she's going to run, and described to her where the Ice Age Trail went. And then also explained to her that if I found Mr. Carl, I would walk with him until I got him help. And I have a cell phone, but if I didn't get cell phone coverage, I have a Garmin device with an SOS alert. So I finally come to this rather long straight road walk south after leaving Gibbs Lake County Park. And here at Fenrick, I'm going to make a left. I'm coming to the halfway point of my walk for the day. That's about 14 miles of 28. And it is only 10:30, so I'm making good time. But I've still got another 6 miles to go until I get into a park with shade and water and rest stop. So this is about the halfway point in this 12-mile segment, which was really the big challenge for the day, this middle section. 12 miles of pure road walking. And I see a big shady tree up here on the left. So I think I'm just going to have a quick sit down there and let my feet rest for a minute. Try to... Okay, I've come to my next turning point where Fenrick Road that I've been on dead ends into County Highway H. I'm to go left or south on it for about 1 mile, and I'll make a left on what I think is County Highway A. And I'm learning that when you walk onto one of these road walks and you see white lines and double yellow lines in the middle, that's a good indicator that it's a more heavily used highway, probably a higher state highway, probably with a higher speed limit between two small or medium-sized cities in Wisconsin. So not as much fun as wandering down a country road, but I only have to be on it for a mile. So here's my next intersection turn point. Thank goodness. It's only a mile on County Highway H, but that's an extremely busy road. People driving well above the speed limit. There is no shoulder to speak of that you can walk on. There's a shoulder, but it's not very helpful. Now, so I make a left here and head east. This lane also has white stripes and a double yellow line, which means it's probably going to have a fair amount of traffic on it also. And finally, my long day of road walking is over. There may be a few shorter ones later on, but for right now, I am at the Janesville School's outdoor laboratory, and I finally have a yellow blaze, which says to go this way. As I come into the Arboretum, looks like I'm going to enter the Jolene Beeman Memorial Trail which is the Ice Age Trail Arbor Ridge segment. It's nice to be in the shade and off the road. It's 1 o'clock and I am right at the 20-mile mark. Which means I did 20 miles in 8 hours. The math on that works out to right at 2.5 miles an hour. Puts me in mind of some cabins I've seen that are also the same vintage, built down in the Smokies and in the Shenandoahs. So for only the second time today, something that looks like an actual trail. And there's a yellow blaze up ahead. So at about the 20.1 or 20.2 mile mark, as I headed through the Ice Age Trail in this park, there is a piped spring in the ground. I tried to draw water out, but then I realized there's actually a water fountain with potable water up here. There's actually I notice here that if this is not running, call them, because they'll come and make it run, I guess. And there's, this might be a restroom or something, but there's some other folks up on the other side, so I don't want to disturb them. And the Ice Age Trail is down this way. Okay, this table turned out to be about 21 miles into my hike for the day. So I went ahead and took a little pack off, shoes off break there for 10 or 15 minutes. Checked in with Mrs. Data. I have about there's a deer. Hello. Hello. It's the first deer I've seen this time on trail, which honestly in Wisconsin it's not all that unusual to see deer. Don't worry, you're safe. Hello. She's looking right at me. Hello. How you doing? That was just a whole little field of native flocks here, and they're scattered in with blackberry bushes. I got really lucky planning this particular section hike for myself. I spent most of the 2 days up till now doing a long road walk to get that out of the way between Albany and Janesville, going through Evansville. And I knew at the end that I was going to be on a trail through Janesville, but I thought it was going to be more city streets and city parks. But this is actually kind of a legitimate little hiking trail here. Might seem especially nice to me today because I'm on schedule a little ahead of it, so it's still only about 2:30, and I think I've got maybe 6 miles left. So okay, so I've just come out of what I think is called the Arbor Ridge segment, and I'm headed into the Devil's Staircase segment. So I just came down the Devil's Staircase. You can see parts of it over there. It's some man-made limestone steps and some pretty steep grades. It's not real long, but it's a challenge. So I couldn't film any of it, but it leads to a little overlook on the Rock River. Next I go almost like on the AT, then I go up and up and up that way, back up the other side of this ridge. So we have a little bit more wildlife here now that we're in the park part of this. Looks like we have 2 ganders, 2 geese. Yes, I know you're not happy with me. I'm not messing with your goslings. Well, this turned out to be a little pleasant surprise. Even though I'm right on the edge of downtown Janesville, they've taken the trail right over to the river's edge. You can hear the sounds of the city all around me, but I get to actually hike on a trail for a minute. So Janesville lies right along the Rock River. See the rapids off in the distance at one of their dams, and over here, I believe that is an actual real-life swan in the wild. So I have about 2.5 miles left to go. So that's looking west and north and east. I'm at the southern edge of downtown Janesville, where the Rock River turns to the west. I've just crossed it on a bridge which kind of marks the beginning of my last 1.5 miles of the day. And as I make this turn to the left and to the east, I'm happy to see that there's a sign marking the Ice Age Trail. But also there's shade. So it's 5 o'clock, and have now been on my feet since 5 a.m. So this marks 12 hours, and in that 12 hours I've hiked 27 miles. Well, I just took my last brief sit-down break to check mileage, and I am at 27.7 miles on the day. That means I have 7/10 of a mile to go to the point, and I'm crossing this really nicely, it looks like recently redone with redwood or something, bridge. It's very scenic, little arch to it. So at this point in the day, I was just completely beat. So I quit recording. I finished hiking the last couple of miles to the hotel. I got some food at a gas station nearby and hit the hay. Happy trails to each of you.